said the US and UK militaries were involved in bombing Houthi radars, missiles and drone sites. The aim to degrade the Houthis' ability to conduct strikes on international shipping. In a statement, Joe Biden said, today's defensive action follows an extensive diplomatic campaign and Houthi rebels escalating attacks against commercial vessels. These targeted strikes are a clear message that the United States and our partners will not tolerate attacks on our personnel or allow hostile actors to imperil freedom of navigation in one of the world's most critical commercial routes. US and British warplanes hit targets throughout Yemen's Houthi-controlled north, including the capital, Sana'a, the key port city of Hodeidah, and Sada in the north, close to the border with Saudi Arabia. A senior U.S. administration official emphasized that the U.S. was not seeking to escalate the conflict. However, the Houthi leader suggested that escalation was now inevitable.
We will confront the American aggression. Any American aggression will never remain without a response, and the response will not only be at the level of the recent operation that targeted Americans at sea with more than 24 drones and several missiles. The response will be greater than that, and more than that.
U.S. officials say it's too early to know if Houthi capabilities have been degraded. But beyond that, there are questions as to what exactly the U.S. feels it's achieving, especially since the Houthis have been clear. They feel it is they who are acting under international law, specifically the International Genocide Convention, which obligates them to act to stop the bombardment of Gaza.
So the question that has to be asked is, why is it that the British and American governments prefer to escalate and go to war, essentially, in order to prevent the Houthis from attacking ships, rather than actually going the path of a ceasefire in Gaza, which would not only be more effective, but also would have other positive effects, such as ending the slaughter.
The Biden administration insists it was acting defensively. It says an attack earlier this week forced Washington's hand because U.S. vessels were targeted. However, when asked how the administration was so sure that the U.S. was specifically the target of the attack, a senior defense official would only say that it was because U.S. vessels were in the proximity of Houthi fire. Shia Bertansi, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Shalom. Brother Kabad back in the GMS lesson. GMS keep pushing. Before I go any further, I give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father's only begotten Son, YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone for teaching us His truth according to the Bible and rule well. Shalom. Taught us sincere Akim throughout the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth through diligence and sincerity and in charity and Shalom. To all you sincere followers, believers of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, not just hearers of the word, but doers as well. You men, women, and children, the hopeful elect, Shalom. Okay, and as you can see, the scriptures talk about wars and commotions. This is Bible prophecy, and this is what will be playing out in the latter days. What we mean by the latter days is the end of Esau, Edom, the self-proclaimed so-called white man's rulership. In the same way it was established, the same way it's going to go out through a lot of blood spilling. This book of Luke, chapter 21, and what started 9. It says, "But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified," because this is what terrifies a lot of people. People don't want a war. People don't want to go and fight. You know, that especially here in America, you know, that great American macho man, you know, spirit has left America, man. All right, these Americans, they don't want to fight. They want to drink their Starbucks. You know, they're not really proud of being American. You know, they want to have their Wi-Fi and their phones and their social medias. Okay, they're not about this war life. So this scares the people. But guess what? We're not supposed to be terrified. It reads on Luke 9 and 21 and 9 says, "But when ye shall hear wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. But the end is not by and by." Right, so these things are going to have to come to pass, but the end is not yet. Why? Because the issuing of the C hip, the MOT to the B, Revelation 13, where you cannot sell or buy unless you have that MARK, the charagma, the Strong's G5480 inside of you. You know, your hand, your head, wherever. If you have that inside of you, which is the MOTB, all right. If you have that inside of you, lost my train of thought, Slakia. If you don't have that inside of you, okay, you're not gonna be able to participate in society. Those things have to come to pass. World War III has to come to pass, which we are in, right? These wars and commotions, we're already in war. America's firing missiles. These other heathen nations are firing missiles back. A fight for power is what you see going on in the earth. But guess what? It makes you think about Psalms, the 2nd chapter, I believe it is. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Because who's next to rule is the Israelites. And by process elimination, if we don't know, it's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians. So it reads on, Luke 21:10. It says, Then he said unto me, Nation shall rise against nation. Is that not what you see? And kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes. And, you know, I was going to do a lesson on earthquakes. It was an earthquake. What was it at? South America, another one in South America. But there's earthquakes. We just had one in Japan. All right, earthquakes all over the earth, man. These are the signs that the Heavenly Father, there was one begotten Son, would show us to give us a heads up when he's coming back. Now, we don't know the exact date, the exact day. Okay, but the Lord said these things will be going on in the earth prior to my arrival. And that's why we're cleaning up our spirits, man. That's what you should be doing as an Israelite, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, getting your spirit right with YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. And how do you do that? First and foremost, by fearing him and doing as he says. Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter says, we'll come back to this, Luke, real quick. Ecclesiastes 12 says, I'll start at the top and I'm going to jump down. Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not. See, we talk about war, that brings evil days. War brings evil days because there's a lot of death. Lost fathers, lost husbands. Okay? It says, nor the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. So there's going to come a time that the Lord's not going to have a pleasure in his people. Because this is the grace period to seek YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, while the mercy doors are open. While you can still hear these videos, these lessons on the internet. Because soon come, a famine of words going to take place. There's going to be a lack of hearing this word. But what do our people do in their youth? They party. They give into their own lust. And then when they're on their deathbed, then they want to run to the church. They want to run and seek the Lord then, but it's too late. But here's the point. Ecclesiastes 12:13, let us hit the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear YAHAWAH and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For YAHAWAH shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. So you're going to be judged for the things you do here on earth. You got to let your good outweigh your bad, man. All right? You got to rehearse these righteous acts to the best of your ability. Because prophecy is happening right before our very eyes. Okay? So going back to Luke 21:11, we're going to finish it up here. It says, because I'm pressed for time. It says, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, famines, a lack of food, bread, water, resources, and pestilence. A lot of diseases happening, running rampant in the earth. And you see that happening now. All right? Uncurable sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, different respiratory viruses going on. Even more things are going to come. It says, and fearful sights, like you saw down there in Miami, right? Those 10-foot tall, what they call aliens, walking around, disappearing and reappearing. Okay, that's fearful sights. These are things that will be happening in the earth. Take heed, Jake. Look, the warning, we can't warn you enough. It says, and great signs shall there be from heaven. All right, from the skies. And some of those great signs are what the world are going to call UFOs, which are the chariots of the Lord. All right. And since we are already in this chapter, we might as well bring this out and wrap it on up. It says, verse 34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with suffering and drunkenness and the cares of this life. And so that day come upon you unawares. What day? The day of the Lord, man. He's showing you signs. He's having his men tell you, all right? But yet you're not paying attention. You're caught up in the cares and affairs like the playoffs. The playoffs, you know, your next vacation, your career, all right? Trying to save your life when in actuality you're going to lose it, all right? Verse 35, for as a snare shall it come upon all that dwell on the face of the whole earth. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. And see, I didn't even want, that shows you that we don't run nothing. The Lord runs this, man. I had this lesson going completely one way, but the Lord changed it. I wasn't going to bring these these preachers out. I was going to go into war. All right, World War III, Isaiah 9 and 5. I was going to bring that out, as well as other scriptures. But hey, that just shows the power of the Lord. And this is the Lord's movie. Just pray I'm on the right side of it, as well as you, sincere Akim and Aqua, to listen. Okay, but anyways, that's all I had on that. Wars in the air. All right, and just like the head brother, the Charlotte camp, ISRAELITES likes to say, keep your head on swivel, because things is getting ugly out here, man. And just keep your eye on the prize, which is seeking YAHAWASHI, man, and trusting in Him to the best of your ability. Proverbs 3 and 5. Shalom.